since it's getting a little close to Valentine's Day, I wanted to go over some of my worst dating experiences that I have ever had. I've gone on a lot of first dates, but not that many second dates, and there's a good reason for that. And it's not just because I'm picky. And by the way, none of these are in any particular order, and I really don't think anyone that I talk about in this video will find this video. So, I mean, I hope they don't find this video, but I guess things can happen. But it's nothing against you, I swear. It's just not my cup of tea. None of these little things are that crazy, I would say. But yeah, without further ado, here are some nightmare stories that I have had with dating. One time, this guy kind of invited me on a date, but not really. Like, I wasn't really sure if he invited me on a date or not, because he just kind of said, "You want to hang out?" And I'm not one of those people that wants to assume that they're like wanting to hang out to get with me. So I was like, "Yeah, let's go hang out." And then he decided to go to a fancy restaurant, and that's when I was like, maybe this is a date. But he didn't specify, so I'm gonna just assume he's just a fancy kind of guy. So I get there, he's a little late, but who really cares? And he gets there and he's wearing like the nicest outfit I have ever seen. And I'm like, okay, I read the room wrong. I'm wearing my casual clothes. Well, casual enough because it was a fancy restaurant. But he was over the top. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't read the room here, but whatever. We have a decent meal, I would say, mostly just appetizers, because I didn't want it to cost that much, and he had prefaced by saying he was going to pay for it. So I'm like, I'm not going to order like a $40 steak. I'll just order like $12 like bruschetta. And it was good. It was good food. We walked around for a bit, and then he asked if I wanted to come over to his house. I'm not the kind of person to like do that kind of thing, you know what I'm talking about. But I was like, this guy is pretty innocent. I'll just go over to his house and we'll just chat because like we're getting along. And he didn't tell me that he didn't have a car. So I was like about to go over to his house because he told me what the location was. And then he was like, you're going to have to wait like an hour and a half before getting there because I'm going to have to take the bus and I live like 40 minutes away. I was like, what the hell? Like, no, okay, I'll drive you. Like, that's okay. I'll drive you to your house. Like, if I'm gonna be there anyway, that's a crazy assumption. So I drive him there. And he's like, can we stop at 7-Eleven? I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, the 7-Eleven's right next to your house. And he buys a giant bottle of wine. I don't know if I like this. We get back to his house. He gets extremely wine drunk. And not only that, he takes maybe 20 hits from a paraphernalia. You know what I'm talking about. 20 hits. 20! I counted because it was that insane. Like, I knew this guy was nervous, but that's crazy that you have to get crossed to talk to me. I'm not that scary, you guys. I'm not that scary. I don't know what the deal was. He got so crossed. And I don't do any of that stuff, so I'm just sitting there sober as sober as I can be. And it was so crazy. He just started talking about philosophy, and I was like kind of interested in what he was saying, but what he was saying wasn't making any sense because he was clearly super out of it. And I was like, okay, this is crazy. I think it's time for me to go. Like, oh my god, that's wild. I cannot believe that. And he was vaping, so he was like double fisting his vape and his paraphernalia. And on top of that, he freaking spilled the water everywhere, so it smelled terrible. And he's drunkenly trying to clean it up off the floor, and I'm just like, oh my god, what did I get myself into? And yeah, then he asked to see me many times after that, and I just wasn't really into it. So I was like, no, I'm okay. I think I'm good. Thanks for the meal, though. Another crazy experience that I had, I dated like this Twitch streamer. He was like like it was his job. Like he was pretty successful. He knew like a lot of like the famous people, I guess. But we met and we didn't meet the way he told his friends we met. He told his friends that I was a fan and that like I slid in his DMs and that's how we got to know each other. And like, but I didn't know at all who he was before we started dating. Like he was into like video games that I had never played before. But he just like told all of his friends that we met because I was a fan. And I'm like, that's already weird. That's like a weird power dynamic that I didn't sign up for. And it wasn't even true. So that was weird. And on top of that, even though I feel like everyone knew we were dating, he still somehow was able to cheat on me with other creators in the space. I only dated this guy for like 6 months. So it wasn't that big of a deal to me. I'm not trying to downplay it or anything, but like I kind of knew what I was signing up for. He definitely seemed like the kind of person that would have some infidelity issues. But like we were for sure exclusive. Like we were committed, like we were exclusive with each other, like we were dating. Like very spoken about. No blurred lines there. And I feel like every other time I would come over to his house, he would look so guilty and then he'd be like, I have to just say it. I'm sorry, but like I kissed this girl. I made out with her. I went to a club and I made out with the stripper. And I'm like, what the hell? And I stayed with this guy for 6 months. Because every time my stupid brain was like, oh, he must have remorse because he told me about it and I feel bad. And I'm like, I'm giving you everything you want, bro. We don't even do anything together. Like we just like, I come to your house, you finish your 12 hours of streaming and then you fall asleep as I'm just like sitting there like, oh, we were supposed to go out for sushi tonight, but I guess not. It was terrible. I can't believe I was in that relationship for so long. And then he like moved a little bit further away and I'm like, okay, I gotta break this off because you're not even worth like driving like an hour to go visit, even though I've been in other relationships that were way farther. I just wasn't worth it to me. And that was crazy as the rationale wasn't that I broke up because he cheated on me. My rationale was, oh, you're too far now, you're not worth it. Oh my god. I was also in another relationship with this guy and I broke up with him. Okay, there's a common trend. I break up with everyone. I'm just really picky, okay? I'm really picky and honestly, I'm perfect. Just kidding. That's not true at all. I have very, very, very many flaws that I still need to get through, but I'm always the one that ends up breaking up with them and I don't know why that is. But I broke up with this guy and I don't know how. This guy has a sixth sense for whenever I'm single. Because as soon as I break up with somebody else, he's in my DMs like, hey, how's it going? You want to try again? And I'm like, how do you know? He never messages me when I'm in a relationship. I don't know if he's stalking my profile and just waiting for me to delete photos off my Instagram or something. But it's actually crazy his timing. Like one of the times he messaged me, I wasn't even fully broken up with my like the current boyfriend I was with yet. It was like the day of, like I was going to plan on have this conversation with my current boyfriend and he messages me and I don't see the message till after I break up with my ex because I'm like, you know, I got this guy's stuff muted so I don't really look at it ever. And I'm like, that's crazy. The timing there, I hadn't even deleted the photos yet. It's like you always know. Yeah, but I'm the kind of I'm a you know, one time only kind of person. Like if I break up with you, chances are I'm not going to give you another chance. Sorry, there's like so many fish in the sea. I don't really subscribe to that. I'm trying to think of some other ones. I feel like I don't have that many like I've been on a decent amount of dates, but I don't think I've been with anyone. Oh my god, wait, I remember. I went on a date with this guy and he was not from America. He was like, you know, English wasn't his first language, so I'll cut him some slack, but I still think it was funny. I broke up with him. By breakup, I mean like I just didn't go on like another date with this person. I think I went on like 2 or 3 dates with this person total. So we weren't like official or anything, but like I stopped talking to him after this because of the situation. He just did not understand sarcasm at all. He was like, "Are you a lesbian?" I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, what kind of question is that? Like, I'm obviously not a lesbian. Like, I'm dating you. Like, I'm obviously not a lesbian. But I just thought it was such a silly question that I was like, yes, of course I'm a lesbian. Obviously I'm a lesbian. And he was like, wait, really? And I was like, no, of course not. Like, why did you believe me? But that was the first of many times that he did not understand my sarcasm. And it just freaking wore down on me. It got to me and I had to cut things off. I was like, this is too much. I can't do this. Why would you ask me that question? And like, I'm not even like a particularly sarcastic person. So I just think it's really funny that got to me of all people who doesn't really participate in sarcasm too often. Oh yeah, this is like I call him my big ex because he's the one that kind of sucked the most, and he's also the one I was with the longest. Oh my gosh. There's a lot of things I did wrong in that relationship. But one of the things about that relationship, I was really annoyed that he didn't have a license. Almost everyone I've ever dated, especially in Los Angeles, they don't have a car because they like just do things on their own and they just like don't need a car, and that's totally fine. Like I don't mind that at all. I don't mind being the one to chauffeur the other person around. I think it's fine. I also in fact trust myself to drive better than most people in LA. So like I don't mind that at all. But what I do mind is not having a license. And I know that logic doesn't make that much sense, but I just think having a license is really good when it's needed. Like in an instance where you have to drive me somewhere, like if I get like injured or something, like it's just like it's a safety thing. I would just much prefer to be with somebody that has a license for those kind of situations. So I made it apparent like very early on in our relationship, like maybe like the first week. Oh, are you like planning on getting your license? And he was like, yeah, I am. A whole year goes by without him even trying to get a license. And at this point, I'm pushing him because I'm like, my dad's also mad about it. He's like, you need to date somebody that at least has a license. I'm like, you're right, Dad. I do. I think this is crazy that he doesn't have a job. He lives with his parents and he still doesn't have a license. I think, you can have all those things, but like just two of the three of those things, And I'm like, the license is the easiest thing and the least amount of pressure. When I tell you this boy failed his driver's test 5 separate times, and it resulted in so many fights between us. It was insane. How do you fail a driver's test 5 times and each time you have a different excuse as to why it wasn't your fault? And at this point, it was just like kind of embarrassing. It was just kind of embarrassing to like date somebody that failed their license like 5 times. And like so on the 6th attempt, so every 3 attempts you take, you get your permit revoked and then you have to get your permit again. So he failed it 3 times. He got his permit revoked, had to take the permit test again, failed it another 2 times. So he had one more time left before he got his permit revoked again. And he finally passed it in like 2 days later. So if he has a current girlfriend, she better freaking be thankful that I got him to get a license. Because that was just so embarrassing to deal with. I can't. And it just made me realize, like, I can't date people that are just not built for this world. Not built to live in this world. Like, oh my god, you had all the time in the world to study for it. And you failed it 5 times. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I passed mine the first time when I was like 16. And you're 24. And you failed it 5 times. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but he was the worst ex for way more reasons than that. And I've had a lot of bad exes. Honestly, out of all the guys I've dated, my first ex is like the best because he was just a guy. The only thing that bothered me about him was he didn't like me streaming with a camera. Like this was back in like 2020 maybe. He knew I streamed and we got together when I was streaming, but he didn't want me to ever have a video camera on. So I was a faceless streamer for the first like 2 to 3 years of streaming on Twitch because he was insecure about it. And then I told him, I said, I really want to do a face reveal for my birthday. And it led to like a very big fight between us, like probably one of the only fights we've ever had. And he was like, fine, you can do a face stream. I'm like, thank you. So I did. I didn't even put any makeup on. I purposely presented myself to look kind of ugly. And he still got mad at me. Even though at the time I only streamed to like 10 viewers anyway. I guess that day specifically I had a few more viewers, but like, you can't get mad at me. We met through streaming. You get mad at me for streaming. You get mad at me for wanting to show my face on stream. Oh my god, what is with these men? What is with these men? And anytime I ever try to date a woman, they freaked me out even more than the men. They're so down bad. I'm very skittish in relationships. If you're trying to pursue me, I'm so skittish. You have to like, it's like I'm an ocelot. I'm an ocelot and you can't look at me and I just have to approach you slowly as you have the fish in your hand, you know? If you just come out the gates being like, come over to my house, which a lot of these girls did, like, come over here. I'm like, nah, I can't do that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not, that's just not who I am. If I want to pursue you, I will pursue you. But if you're trying to pursue me, that's not the way to do it. Those are some of my bad dating experiences that I wanted to share. I think I have more. Honestly, I went through a phase in my life between like, because I used to be in long-term relationships. Like I went from like one long-term relationship to another, and it was like pretty bad of me to do because I would kind of detach myself from the current relationship that I was in to the point where once I finally broke up with them because I was like fed up, I didn't need to like process any of my feelings at all because I kind of processed them and I mourned the relationship during the relationship. Don't do that, you guys. Don't do that. That is bad. Bad. Spray bottle. Don't do that. Break up with them when you want to break up with them, and then you should have your healing period be when you're single. Because some of the happiest times I've ever had are when I'm single. But so don't do that. But I have a lot of dating experiences because I decided I wasn't going to get myself in a long-term relationship. Weirdly enough, at this time in my life, a lot of people were pursuing me. So I kind of just like said yes to anyone that wanted to go on a date. I was also so poor. I had like $60 in my bank account, and I just kind of like, I was never under the impression people would pay, but they kind of always did. So, you know, I would humor them and then I'd get a free meal out of it. Oh, oh my God, wait, what? Okay, one last story. One last story. I know I sound like the villain here, and I probably am, but in all reality, in my brain, I wasn't using these people for like free food or anything. Like, I genuinely wouldn't have said yes if I wasn't interested in going on a date with these people. I just realized later on in life that I should probably have higher standards. So that's why I went on so many dates. But and none of them, I didn't do any funny stuff. I didn't do any funny stuff, okay? I just really like to meet new people. And that's just how it is. But this last guy, I went on 2 dates with him. And they were like okay, like it was fine. Wasn't really my type in any way. Like I really am not a fan of people who have substance issues. I don't think that's crazy to say, and he kind of did. But um oh my gosh, I just remember I was at the bar one night with my friends, and I don't drink, so I'm always sober when this stuff happens. Um I got a message from him randomly. It was like a week after we had talked last. And he sent me an audio file. And I knew he was like trying to get into music. So I just figured it was like a song that he had wrote or like produced or something, and he wanted to show it to me. It was a song about me. We had only gone on 2 dates, and it was kind of the worst song I'd ever listened to. It was really bad. It was so bad. He used an audio sample of my voice from a TikTok video that I had. So he recorded my audio from that and used it in the song, and then the rest of it was just like instrumental, and it was like the worst. Like honestly, I think I could come up with a better song than him. And I'm not musically inclined at all, but this guy's like really not. And I feel bad saying that, but it's kind of creepy to find my TikTok that I didn't show you, and my TikTok wasn't my name, and to take the video or like my audio and use it in a song when we've known each other for like a week and a half. And I listened to it, and I went to my friend and I said, I need a shot. I've been sober for my entire life, and that was the night that I broke my edge because this person sent the cringiest song I had ever heard in my life. And I feel so bad because I know he meant well, but it was just very creepy, and I never messaged him after that, and he never messaged me. Oh my gosh. It was... And then I stopped dating people for a long time after that. Anyway, if you like these kind of videos where I just kind of give you guys little story times, let me know. Or let me know in the comments if there's any topics you want me to talk about. I have a lot of stories. I've lived a long life, even though I'm not that old. I am unk, but I'm not that old. I've lived a freaking long life, and I feel like an ancient dragon with so much wisdom and knowledge from all those stupid things I've put myself through. So yeah, bye guys.